This is Eram Saeed joining you guys and welcoming you again to another call with the Tao Summit from Heartache to Joy. I am so honored and so delighted to have you guys back here today. This is going to be an awesome, awesome call. Those of you that are familiar with EFT are no doubt very familiar with Brad Yates. But those of you that don't know him, you guys are in for a real treat because he's going to be doing some private sessions with you guys today, so one-on-one sessions. So when you get a chance, please get in the queue, and you will do that by pressing *2, which will raise your hand, and it will place you in the queue. So I am going to tell you guys just briefly about Brad, for those of you that don't know him. Brad is known initially for his creative and often humorous use of emotional freedom technique. He is the author of the best-selling children's book, The Wizard's Wish, the co-author of the bestseller Freedom at Your Fingertips, and a featured expert in the film The Tapping Solution. He also has been a presenter at a number of events, including Jack Canfield's Breakthrough to Success, and has done Tell Summits with the Secret stars Bob Doyle and Dr. Joe Vitale. He has over 300 videos on the Internet with nearly 5 million hits and has been a guest on a number of talk shows and a contributing expert on the Huffington Post. Brad, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me on. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, it's always an honor to have you, and I'm going to share with the listeners in just a little bit what kind of a personal impact your work has had on my life and why I feel that in a big way I am here today thanks to a lot of the work that you do. But tell us before that, because I am getting a notification from my team that my line is really bad. I need to switch lines. But before I continue to talk, I need to switch my I call back in from another line. But in the meantime, will you be kind enough to actually tell some of our listeners that are joining us for the first time about emotional freedom technique? What is this? Why is it so popular? Why is it that actually some people call this the number one energy healing technique right now?
Certainly. Thank you. So EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, and also very just commonly known as tapping these days, is a process based on the principles of acupuncture. For thousands of years in Chinese medicine, they have said there's a flow of energy through the body along pathways called meridians. And when the energy is flowing naturally, we experience our natural state of health and well-being, both physically, emotionally. And when this energy gets stuck or disturbed in some way, then we don't feel so good, physically or emotionally. So in acupuncture, they would use needles and stick those needles in key points along the face and body to stimulate the natural flow of energy to get you feeling good again. So around 1980, a psychologist named Roger Callahan was working with a patient who had a lifelong water phobia. Just couldn't bathe. She could only bathe in like an inch of water. She couldn't go swimming. Terrified of water. And he had been just expanding his knowledge and was taking an acupressure course and learning a little bit about the meridian system. And he thought, well, let's see if we can do something about at least the physical symptoms going on here. And she said that the fear mainly came up as a knot in her stomach. So he had learned that the end point for the stomach meridian was under the eye, tapped there for a few moments, and she said it's gone. Not just the stomach cramp, but the fear of water. And from this, he came up with the discovery that negative emotions are caused by this same disruption in the energy system. So by tapping on these different points, we clear out that disruption. So whether it's fear, anxiety, anger, sadness, this discomfort that we feel in our bodies, because, emotions, they're feelings. We feel them in our bodies. As we start to balance out the energy, we clear out that uncomfortable feeling. We get back to our natural state of feeling really good. So it's the quickest form of stress relief that I know of, and it's so simple that anyone can do it. You can do it quickly. Sometimes the results are extremely fast, which is what makes it so popular with so many people. So the things that stop us from making better choices and taking more positive action is that stress that comes up in the body. So when we can just tap that stress away, it gives us the freedom to achieve so much more in life.
Are you there, Brad?
I'm there. I was going to check in with how you're doing.
I am here, yes. There is some background noise. I am hoping that's not me, but it could be. Are you hearing that?
I'm hearing, yeah, it sounds a little bit like wind or a little static.
There's static. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see. It's raining like crazy over here, so it could be that. I apologize. So I will actually probably need to call in from the third line now. Sorry about that. But in the meantime, let's continue talking, because I was listening as you were explaining about EFT. And I have shared with you, and some of the listeners have heard this before when on my first telesummit when I talked to you about this. When I was going through my own issues with depression and extreme anxiety, and basically I wouldn't call it low energy. It was basically just no energy. And being at a stage where I couldn't even get out of bed, this was the only tool that I was using that enabled me to at least be able to get out of bed. I used to wake up with tap of the morning. I would start with that, and my 5-year-old had become grouchy and would wake up to me tapping and would say, "Oh, no, not tapping again, Mommy." But that's how I would basically just pick up my laptop, start tapping along, and that's how I would start my day. That's how I would have the energy to actually start my day. And then slowly and gradually, the scripts were so wonderful because they were short, they were easy, they were very easy to implement, as you were saying. And I would do it for procrastination, for anxiety, for fear of being alone, for, all kinds of things. And that is what helped me to pick up the pieces and move on, just get ready to face whatever I needed to face. Before transformation, sometimes people are at that stage where they just don't even know what to do. They're just
Right.
at that breakdown point where it's so low that nothing seems to help, and they just don't have the energy to do anything. And then as I shared with you, one of the most remarkable things that happened was that I started to volunteer for a group that was helping domestic violence victims. And as you know, the rate of success with domestic violence victims is very, very low. They go back to the abuser very frequently, and most of them suffer from all kinds of PTSD and extreme anxiety and hysterical attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So the women that I was volunteering with, I remember one time I was called to this situation where she was in the middle of a full-blown hysteric attack. Nobody knew what to do. They were waiting for the other people to arrive. And I was just sitting there feeling so helpless and bad for her. And she had become a friend. So I said, let me try this. Let me just try some tapping with her. And within 10 minutes, maximum 15 minutes, she had calmed down. She was in balance. She was clear-headed and could make, very clear, concise conversation. And since then, I started using tapping with all of the people that I was volunteering with and taught them how to tap, and it was amazing. And my success rate with the people actually turned into almost 100%.
Wow.
And everybody was just shocked. So I am a personal testament to how powerful and effective EFT is.
Yeah, it's so simple, and I love it. That's why I'm so grateful for any opportunity like this to share it with even more people. Just, and I totally understand that some people are resistant at first. I can come into a group of people and say, I'm going to teach you a very simple, quick technique that will help you clear out stress like nothing else. It can help you improve your health, your relationships. It can help you improve your business, your sports performance, help you make more money. Would you be interested? And people would be like, oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're going to tap on your face. I think I'm doing fine. So there is that element of it looks a little goofy, but if you can get over that, boy, the rewards are phenomenal.
Unbelievable. And actually, I remember you had talked about this last time, but isn't tapping almost on the verge of being accepted by mainstream medical science?
Well, it's accepted by a lot of people in that there are a lot of psychiatrists who use it. There are a lot of MDs who use it. Mm-hmm. The establishment still isn't there. There is a paper that has been published, I believe now, by in one of the journals of the American Psychological Association, the APA, in which David Feinstein, who is a professor at Johns Hopkins, he makes the argument for the idea that tapping meets the criteria for an evidence-based practice. That doesn't mean that APA has accepted it as such, but they were willing to publish an article making the case for it being worthy of that.
Now, a very interesting thing happened on our last call, Brad, when back in October, when I had actually just moved to Pakistan. I think it had only been like 3 weeks, and here I had launched my biggest summit of that time. It was a 3-month summit, and it was, I think you were the second speaker, and I had this problem. I was suffering from a kind of a hoarseness in my throat. I was losing my voice, which used to happen every time I came to Pakistan, and I always thought it was because of the dust and maybe I get allergic to it. But whether I stayed a month, month and a half, 2 months, every time I would just lose my voice, sometimes completely, and it wouldn't come back till I got back to the U.S. So on the call I had told you that, and then on the live call I said, I don't know, I hope I don't lose my voice completely before the call ends, and you just said, oh, knock it off.
That sounds like the sort of caring, sensitive thing that I would say.
Well, it was, only I didn't realize it at that time until you actually started doing a group tapping for all of us. And by the time we were done, my voice was clear. It was squeaky clear, and it has been since then. It's almost been, 8 months, and my voice, it never became hoarse again. And I have been wondering since then, what the heck happened? It was supposed to be a dust allergy, and it's very dusty, even now.
Well, it's just as you bring it up, and I don't know if we talked about this then, but the idea of you as a powerful woman losing your voice when you go into a country where there isn't the same kind of freedom for women as there is in the U.S. If there isn't something, a cultural thing that tells you, once you cross that border, okay, it's time to shut up. It's time to not be, as vocal as you are allowed to be elsewhere. Who knows?
I agree. Fear. Because we actually tapped on fear in that group healing. We were doing a lot of tapping on fear. And when we were done, that's the first thing I noticed, like, oh, my God, my voice is back. I just couldn't believe it. And it's for me, that was just a miracle. And it happened online while other people were listening. So it was really quite remarkable. And that's...
Excellent.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's excellent. I love how this works.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually one of the ways that I love the tapping that you do, because you actually very intuitively are able to tap into some of the deeper issues that might be causing the physical symptom to show up. And I would love for you to actually explain that for some of our listeners that may not be that familiar with what the heck is actually going on and how is just tapping on your face and your neck helping.
So what's happening is, as we remember things, maybe it's a situation that's happening for someone right now. Maybe you're having an argument with someone in your family, and that's causing a lot of different emotions to come up. And ultimately, I adhere to the idea that there's only two emotions. There's love and there's fear. And all the other uncomfortable emotions have some kind of fear related to them. There's some fear underneath that. So a situation is coming up, and it may be manifesting as sadness or as anger. There's probably some kind of fear underneath that, and that's that disruption in the energy system that doesn't feel good. So as we start to tap and we start to clear that out, and what happens is our brain is designed to deal with threats. So if we're in a situation where we feel threatened based on past understanding, or past misunderstanding is very often the case, our thought process goes from, instead of the frontal cortex where we have clear thinking, goes to the midbrain, and the amygdala sends off a fire alarm, and we start to get into fight or flight, and stress hormones are pumped into the body, and we're preparing ourselves for some kind of fight, or preparing ourselves to run away. And this system was designed like 100,000 years ago, when there was a good chance that we were in life-threatening situations. An attack from a neighboring tribe, or a saber-toothed tiger, or something like that. Well, we don't usually face those kind of situations on a daily basis now, but the structure, the alarm system, is still set up in the same way. So we still get into that, even though that real threat isn't there. So the tapping, it sort of activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Basically, that just means it allows us to calm back down, clears out the cortisol, this stress hormone, allows our thinking to go back into the frontal cortex, where we have more clear thinking, more creative thinking, and we're able to look at situations in a much more clear way and see, what do I really need to do here? Is this threat really here? So when we're going through the tapping, we're dealing both with what might be going on in the moment, but also what's all the stuff that's happened in the past that's stuck in there. So if I'm having an argument with Bob, and I'm really angry at Bob about something, it might be about what Bob has done, but it also might be about something that my best friend did, or my so-called best friend did in the 3rd grade. Or it might be something that my dad did when I was 5 years old, and that I've never quite gotten over, and I'm still holding a grudge. And so now Bob has done some stupid thing, and now I'm taking out on Bob all this past anger. So as we go through and we explore that stuff is just stored in our energy system, and as we tap, we can clear that out, and we can heal not only the current situation, but a lot of past situations as well.
So this, in a way, is helping us to reprogram that very powerful subconscious mind that is controlling pretty much 97% of our lives.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We're making choices. Life, it's about the choices we make, and we're making choices every minute. And we're making them based on all the stuff from the past. If we could make each choice consciously, today I'm going to get up and I'm going to eat just what's healthy for my body. I'm going to, know exactly what my body needs in a nutritional way. I'm going to know exactly what kind of exercise to do today, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to know all the best actions to take at work today, and I'm going to be extremely effective. You're great, except that like 90% of our behavior is unconscious. And it's like, you know what, even at a level that I'm not aware of, part of my mind is going, you know what, I had a really bad day yesterday, and I'm still kind of ticked off, and, having that leftover piece of cake for breakfast will help me feel good. It'll make me happy. Not consciously choosing, cake for breakfast is a good idea. It's this unconscious thing, and I may be sitting there, it may not even be until after I'm looking at the few crumbs left on the plate and going, what the heck did I just do?
Yeah, because you literally go totally into autopilot. Yeah.
We're doing unconscious things throughout the day. So as you said, reprogram. We're reprogramming that. We're clearing out that unconscious program, that we're clearing out the upsets that we're trying to comfort. And as we clear that out, we have the freedom to make healthier, more positive choices. We can take more positive action and really live the life that we keep saying that we want to live.
Yes, and I think it was Tony Robbins, I believe, that said the quality of a person's life is going to depend on the quality of choices that they make. And that's really all it is about, is what kind of choices are we making. And when we are in that autopilot, reality becomes totally skewed and our perspective changes. and we just see things in a manner that we're used to seeing or interpreting, and that's it. We react that way. For me, for example, I recently realized, because I was trying to, for this year, my goal has been to create more fun in life, and I don't know why the heck I have so much fear around fun, but I do. So whenever I make that intention, it's like for the whole week I do nothing but sleep. I get so sleepy. I can't help it. I sleep like 12 hours.
Yeah.
And,
that's your mind saying, run away, run away.
Run away, don't have fun. And
don't take action because that'll be dangerous.
Connection. Exactly. It'll be dangerous. Don't have fun. So just sleep, sleep, sleep. And then I finally made that connection. I was like, oh, my God. Every time I try to do something to actually, proactively go after having fun, I start sleeping a lot. So that's something that I'm really not consciously aware of happening. That's like a physiological reaction that, boom, the moment it's triggered, it just kicks in. So I am wondering if you can give us some more examples where people that are listening can they might be able to connect with, some of the symptoms perhaps that they are experiencing in life, but they're not aware of what's going on.
Yeah. And, I'm going to suggest to folks, even though I haven't quite demonstrated yet how to do the tapping, if you feel where your collarbones come together, there's a little U shape at the base of your throat. And if you make a fist and tap right where your collarbones come together, that's what we call the collarbone point. And just be tapping there while we're talking. And we'll get into some more tapping later, but just tapping right there. So this is a great example, this decision to have more fun. And it could be, someone could make the decision to lose weight or to make more money or to go out on more dates and meet somebody or whatever it might be. But the mind says, based on the past, that's not safe. And it could be that as a young child, maybe your parents were very focused on you doing well in school, and so if you were having fun, that was a distraction from what you should have been doing, or whatever it is. So the mind makes these associations either, whether someone said deliberately, you don't have time to have fun, or it was just a message that you picked up in your young mind, because sometimes, as we get these ideas when we're very young, and we don't really know much better, so we're making decisions, oh, this must mean this. Like if if our parents yell at us, oh, this must mean that I'm not very good and I deserve to be yelled at. And so we make these incorrect decisions about ourselves, and we go about creating our lives based on them. So when you say, I choose to have more fun, part of you goes, oh no, Eram, we learned a long time ago that was not safe. So I think it's time you go to sleep. Sleep. So, and that's one of the ways the resistance comes up. We have no energy.
Yep.
And that, which is such a joke when we say, I have no energy. It's like, everything is energy. There is only energy. You cannot have no energy.
Yeah, that's true.
There can be energy without you, but there can be no you without energy.
That's true.
So when we get into that place, it's when we say, well, I was going to go and have fun today, or I was going to go and exercise, but I just don't feel like it. When part of us is saying, I don't feel like it, what it means is there's another part of me that really feels like not doing it. There's a part of me that is really resisting it and will come up with all kinds of distractions and will find very valid reasons. And that's when I say, okay, just start tapping, even if you don't know what to say, because there's some fear going on there. Almost any time that we're not doing what we say we want to do, what we say we intended to do, there's some level of fear. And it may not feel like it, because the mind is very clever. The unconscious mind isn't going to make it look like fear. It's going to make it look like fatigue or something else. It'll be some kind of distraction. And so then we get to the end of the day, it's like, well, I didn't have any fun today. And part of the mind is going, woohoo, yay, I successfully protected myself from fun once again. Now we'll have to do it again tomorrow. So whenever we're not doing what we say we intend to do, there's a level of fear. The extent to which we're not experiencing whatever we say we want is the extent to which we're resisting it. So that's the resistance coming in.
Beautiful. So would that apply to someone, let's say, that are not having success in their relationships or not having success in their career?
And so on and so forth. Pretty much anything, because you look around the world and you see people are experiencing what you say you want, which is just proof that it's possible. So if it's not happening, when it's not happening for us, it's, part of us is not going to let us see that. Part of us is going to just come up with all kinds of excuses like, well, it doesn't happen for me. There's this reason or that reason. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not. And, we'll absolutely believe all of these ideas, but underneath all of that, we know the truth. The truth is we're a magnificent child of the universe, worthy and deserving of the best life has to offer. Underneath, we know all that, but there's another part of it that says, yes, but that doesn't feel safe because I got hurt in the past or I felt threatened in the past, and it's much safer to avoid trying to go for that. So I'm going to fabricate absolutely, brilliant excuses as to why I couldn't or shouldn't have it, but they're just excuses. They're not true. So we want to clear all those reasons why we couldn't or shouldn't. I know we talking about receiving on this call today, and that's so receiving the good that's there. It's all this good is out there for us, and there's a part of us that is holding our hand up, saying, "Nope, stop, don't come here," because if I received that, if I received the better relationship, if I received more money, if I received better health, if I received more fun, there would be a negative consequence, and I don't think I could handle it.
And that's always at the very bottom. That's what's going on. And I so want the people, all the listeners, to understand and connect with that because, I have been very fortunate to have absolutely wonderful teachers and speakers that are joining us on this summit. And we're very careful about who we select because we really want to make sure we serve people with the right kind of information which is going to help them. And I always say this, that, the clearings that we do with the high-frequency energy transmissions, people love them because they're so easy. You just listen with your head, you just sometimes don't even need headphones. And the clearings take place. They're wonderful. But then there's the other side, which you've got to also do. You can't just do one and expect all the changes to take place. And some of them require you to actually participate and you to take action as well. And I have found EFT to be one of the most effective, if not the most effective tool out there to actually combat that kind of negative thinking that attacks us when we least expect it. Especially when you're trying to actually make a change in your life, when you're trying to make these kind of transformations, you will get bombarded with all kinds of doubts and fears and negative thinking and like what Brad was saying, things that you may not even be aware of, physiological things that will happen. And there's some reason why all the top experts, neurosurgeons, doctors, even geneticists, there's a reason why all of them are big fans of EFT. So I personally love EFT.
And
by the way, my grouchy 5-year-old who's now 7 also does tapping.
Awesome. What I love is that it's self-empowering. I love listening to some of the binaural beat things. And I started out as a hypnotherapist, and I love hypnotherapy. The thing is, though, that when you're in a situation where some stress is coming up, or you're in a challenging situation, you can't, escape and go find a place to sit down and put your headphones on and listen to something, or turn it over to someone else. Gee, I wish that someone else was here, this person who can then, do the chant or the hypnosis or the sound things, whatever. I love all of those things, and that's not to put them down or in anything anyway. But to be able to have something that just requires you, that you have a tool right there, and you don't have to think about it. You don't have to come up with the clever wording. When I'm doing the tapping and the intuition is happening, different words are flowing through, and people will hear that and say, "Oh, I couldn't come up with those words." It doesn't matter. You don't have to. You just have to start tapping, and you can do the tapping, and the words will come eventually when they need to. And until that time, even the tapping is starting to clear out the stress and get your thinking from fight or flight back to creative, clear thinking. So,
yes,
and feeling better.
Wonderful. Can you share maybe a couple of stories, or even just one that a success story where tapping really helped one of your students or your clients?
Oh, geez. How to narrow it down, because I've worked with people.
Tap on it, Brad. Tap on it.
Even though I'm on the spot and don't know which to. Because it's, I've worked with folks on so many different issues, whether it's making more money or sports performance or, it was great watching my son this weekend. He was trying out for a competitive soccer team. And based on some things, he had some doubts about making it. And it's hard to get your own kids to do the things you're into, because everything Dad does is uncool when you're a teenager. But driving him there, he was tapping to clear out the stress that could have frozen him, and played brilliantly and made the team. So that was one of the great things. What I think would be great at this point is maybe it's time to go through a tapping round.
That would be great.
Let's actually demonstrate. So so that for folks who don't already know the process, what we're going to do is you're going to be tapping with your index and middle finger of either hand. The meridians, these pathways of energy, run up and down both sides of the body, and you can tap with either hand, or you can tap with both hands at the same time. Find what feels most comfortable for you. I usually tap with one hand and then switch over at different times to the other side. But just for the sake of demonstration, let's say take your right hand, and with the fingertips of your index and middle finger, go ahead and tap on the edge of your left hand. That's what we call the karate chop point, because if you were to imagine if you're going to use a karate chop to break a stack of boards, you would use that edge of your hand right between your pinky and your wrist. So tapping right there in the middle of there. And it's a light tap, enough to feel it, but not enough to hurt yourself. And we usually tap, 5 to 10 times, but when I'm saying different phrases that might be longer, we might end up tapping a point much longer, so it's not an exact number you need to do. So we tap the side of the hand, then we tap the first point we're going to tap on the face is the eyebrow point. That's right there at the beginning of the eyebrow, sort of near the middle of the face, above the nose. Tap in there. The next point we're going to tap is the side of the eye. So if you follow your eyebrow out to the edge of your eye socket, tap right there. And following around under the eye to right under the middle of the eye, tapping right there. Top of the cheekbone. Right under the nose, between the nose and upper lip. Then right below the lower lip at the top of the chin. Then again tapping the collarbone point, and you can do that with your fist. Next point we're going to tap is under the arm. It's right about 4 inches below the armpit, and I use all the fingers there. That's right about bra strap level, and I'm sure even the guys can figure out where that one is. And then the last one we're going to tap is the top of the head. So using all of your fingers, just tap around in a little circle around the top of your head. So those are the points that we'll tap, and I'll tell you which point to tap, and then I'll be saying different phrases. We're trying to bring up, the idea of the phrases is we're trying to bring up the emotions and the different things that might be in there so that we can target those and clear those out, rather than just distracting ourselves so that, if I'm thinking about, gee, I'm really angry at Bob, and if I start to let my mind wander and I can start thinking about the vacation I'm going to take in a couple of weeks, and I start to be excited about that, and then if someone asks how I'm doing, it's like, oh, you know what, I'm feeling great right now. And then they say, what about Bob? Oh, then I'm angry again because I've just distracted myself and haven't dealt with that. So the idea of the wording is to focus ourselves on what the issue is so that I tap on while I'm thinking about this anger at Bob. So I'm clearing out the stuff that's coming up around that. So So, Eram, if you will be my echo voice and repeat back the phrases that I say, and then for everyone listening, go ahead and repeat back what I'm saying. And the little caveat I always have to give is you need to take full responsibility for your own well-being if you choose to tap. Because as we're going through this, we might uncover some stuff. You know, it's like going and cleaning up your living room, and it looked okay, but suddenly as we start to clean it up, you move the couch and you find there's a pile of dirty clothes underneath it. Suddenly it looks dirtier than it did before. Now that stuff was already there, and it's good that we're cleaning it out, but if you've got some heavy stuff you're sitting on, then you may want to wait to do the tapping until you have someone there for emotional support or you're working with a professional. So I've never had, as far as I know, I've never had anyone on a telesummit experience such uncomfortable emotions that they couldn't tap through it at the time. But you just need to put that caveat out there so that you take responsibility for yourself.
But tapping through it is the answer too, right? If they do feel something come up, just keep tapping.
Yes, if you're doing the tapping and you feel something coming up, keep tapping and clearing that up. That's something that you want. You know, it's, again, if you move the couch and you find the dirty laundry, keep cleaning. That dirty laundry can be dealt with.
Yep.
So that's so just showing you the points, that's the basics of tapping, so that if you find yourself getting stressed, you can do that, and you can just tap, and you can, say this stress, as you tap each point. And we're going to do a little bit more creative thing here. So what I want everyone to do is close your eyes, take a deep breath. And I want you to think about something that you want in your life, like having more fun. Allow yourself to think about that thing that you'd like to have in your life that you're not currently experiencing. Again, the extent to which we're not experiencing what we say we want is the extent to which we're resisting it. So allow yourself to be aware of what resistance might be coming up as you think about this. When you think about having more fun, what do you notice in your body? Or more money, or a relationship, or think about yourself at your goal weight, whatever it might be. Just following your breath through your body, just allowing yourself to notice where you might hold the resistance, where you might feel tension, where you might feel discomfort. Maybe it might even feel a little bit nauseous. Just notice where in your body you feel that discomfort. Go ahead and rate it on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the most intense. And allow yourself to be aware of the thoughts and feelings that might come up, both physically and emotionally. Notice what memories might come up. What different events in your life might contribute to this resistance, this fear? Why might part of you might look at this and say, yes, this would be awesome to have in my life. But if you're not having it, it's because some part of you is saying it would be a threat. Somebody would ruin it. Someone would say it's not okay. Someone would try to take it away from me. And don't judge that part of you. That part of you is simply trying to take care of you based on old evidence, on old understandings or misunderstandings, as the case may be. But that part of you that is resisting what you say you want is simply trying to take care of you. That self-sabotage is simply misguided self-love. So acknowledge it, appreciate it, but just be aware of it, what those reasons might be, why it would perceive that as a threat. And so looking at this thing that you'd like to have and say, I couldn't handle it. Either you couldn't handle having it or you couldn't handle the consequences that would come with having it. And just allow yourself to be aware of how true that might feel. And take another deep breath. Open your eyes, keep them closed, whatever feels comfortable. And start tapping on the side of the hand. And repeat after me. Even though I'm afraid I couldn't handle it.
Even though I'm afraid I couldn't handle it.
I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I'm afraid I couldn't handle it.
Even though I'm afraid I couldn't handle it.
I choose to love and honor myself anyway.
I choose to love and honor myself anyway.
Even though I'm afraid I couldn't handle it.
Even though I'm afraid I couldn't handle it.
If I had what I said I wanted.
If I had what I said I wanted.
Part of me believes.
Part of me believes.
There would be consequences.
There would be consequences.
And I wouldn't be able to handle those.
And I wouldn't be able to handle this.
So while part of me says, I would really love to have this in my life.
I would really love to have this in my life.
Another part of me says, no way.
No way.
We are not going to let this happen.
We're not going to let this happen.
Because it would not be safe.
Because it would not be safe.
And even though I'm afraid I couldn't handle it. I choose to deeply and completely. Love, honor, and accept myself. And anyone else. Who has taught me that this is threatening. Tapping the eyebrow point. This fear that I couldn't handle the consequences. Side of the eye. This fear that I couldn't handle what would happen. Out of the eye. All this fear that I couldn't handle having this. Out of the nose. There are things that I want. Out of the mouth. Maybe it's a slimmer body. Collarbone. Maybe it's a bigger bank account. On the arm. Maybe it's just having more fun in my life. Top of the head. And the extent to which I'm not having these. Eyebrow point. Is the extent to which I'm resisting them. Side of the eye. Oh, that's crazy talk. On the eye. Why would I resist having more money? On the nose. Why would I resist having more fun? On the mouth. Exactly. That's the question. Collarbone. Why would I resist this? Onto the arm. Why does part of me think this is a threat? Top of the head. What would be the danger of having more money? Eyebrow point. Would people be jealous of me? Side of the eye. Would they try to take it from me? Onto the eye. Would it mean too much hard work? Onto the nose. I'm clearing this resistance. Onto the mouth. What would be the danger of having a healthier body? Collarbone. I'd have to give up the food that I want. On the arm. I'd have to exercise, and that's painful. Top of the head. All these lies I keep telling myself. Eyebrow point. What am I afraid would happen? Side of the eye. If I had a healthier body. On the eye. Would people find me more attractive? Onto the nose. And I'd have to deal with that? Onto the mouth. And I'm afraid that would be painful? Collarbone. And why on earth? Onto the arm. Would I resist having more fun? Top of the head. When I think about doing things that would be fun. Eyebrow point. Why does part of me want to go to sleep? Side of the eye. What is this resistance about? On the eye. What am I afraid of? Onto the nose. What did I learn in the past? Onto the mouth. That suggested to me. Collarbone. That fun was a bad thing to have. Onto the arm. Did I get in trouble when I tried to have fun? Top of the head. Was I told that fun was something I didn't have time for? Eyebrow point. If I was having fun.
If I was having fun.
Side of the eye. Did that mean I wasn't doing something I should have been doing?
Did it mean that I wasn't doing something I should have been doing?
Onto the eye. And there were consequences for that?
And there were consequences for that?
Onto the nose. Maybe even pain?
Maybe even pain?
Onto the mouth. And so I decided.
And so I decided.
Column. Fun meant pain.
Fun meant pain.
On the arm. And the more fun I had?
And the more fun I had?
Top of it, the more pain I was likely to experience.
The more pain I was likely to experience.
Eyebrow point. So when part of me goes to sleep.
So when part of me goes to sleep.
Side of the eye. It's just trying to take care of me.
It's just trying to take care of me.
Out of the eye. It's much better if we go to sleep.
It's much better if we go to sleep.
Onto the nose. Then risk the danger of having fun.
Then risk this danger of having fun.
Onto the mouth. Or whatever else it might be that I want.
Or whatever else it might be that I want.
Collarbone. All this fear that I couldn't handle the consequences.
All this fear that I couldn't handle the consequences.
Onto the arm. I choose to clear this fear.
I choose to clear this fear.
Top of the head. Clearing it at a cellular level.
Clearing it at a cellular level.
Eyebrow point. Clearing it all the way back through my past.
Clearing it all the way back through my past.
Side of the eye. Back through all these times in my life.
Back through all these times in my life.
Onto the eye. Where I got the message.
Where I got the message.
Onto the nose. That what I want might not be safe.
That what I want might not be safe.
Onto the mouth. I'm allowing myself to see the truth.
I'm allowing myself to see the truth.
Collarbone. Maybe it's not that fun was bad.
Maybe it's not that fun was bad.
Onto the arm. Maybe I just wasn't good at prioritizing back then.
Maybe I just wasn't good at prioritizing.
Top of the head. And I can learn how to do that.
And I can learn how to do that.
Eyebrow point. So I can make time for fun.
So I can make time for fun.
Side of the eye. Because I deserve fun.
Because I deserve fun.
On the eye. Fun is a really good thing to have.
Fun is a really good thing to have.
Onto the nose. And I'm allowing a lot more of it.
And I am allowing a lot more of it.
On the mouth. And I can handle it.
And I can handle it.
Collarbone. And I can handle more health.
I can handle more health.
On the arm. And I can handle more money.
I can handle more money.
Top of the head. I can handle a lot of really good things.
And I can handle a lot of really good things.
Eyebrow point. Allowing myself to look at what I thought was threatening.
Allowing myself to look at what I thought was threatening.
Side of the eye. And I'm allowing myself to see the truth.
And I'm allowing myself to see the truth.
Onto the eye. There may be things I need to deal with.
There may be things that I need to deal with.
Onto the nose. But those don't have to be painful.
But those?
But those don't have to be painful.
But those don't have to be painful.
On the mouth. And I'm clearing any past pain.
And I'm clearing any past pain.
Collarbone. I have carried that long enough.
I have carried that long enough.
Onto the arm. And it's no fun carrying it.
And it's no fun carrying it.
Top of the head. So I'm dumping it.
So I am dumping it.
Eyebrow point. I'm keeping any lessons that I need.
I'm keeping any lessons that I need.
Side of the eye. And I'm allowing myself to be aware of what I do need.
And I am going to allow myself to be aware of what I do need.
Onto the eye. So I can stay smart.
So I can stay smart.
Onto the nose. And release the fear and pain.
And release all the fear and pain.
Onto the mouth. So that I can allow so much more good into my life.
So that I can allow so much good into my life.
Collarbone. Because I deserve wonderful things in my life.
Because I deserve wonderful things in my life.
Onto the arm. I am allowing wonderful things.
I am allowing wonderful things.
Top of the head. In body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. Good, we got some good yawns in there.
I know. I was trying to hide it.
Oh, don't hide it. That's great. Yawning there are a lot of different ways that people show that energy is being shifted and released, and yawning is the most common. So that's.
And I even know it, but I was still trying to hide it because I was like, God, everybody's going to think Eram is sleepy, but I was not. It was really strong. I got a headache, just like in half, like the left side of my head. And then when the headache subsided, the yawns started. Yeah. And they wouldn't stop. Yeah. Yeah. But it was great when towards the end the yawns had subsided, and I actually felt all the things I was saying. I felt the surge of energy come up. Awesome. It was awesome. I'd love for the other people listening, if you were able to tap along, if you experienced anything, please send a message. We'll be able to, I'll be able to read it and hopefully read it to Brad. So if you had any questions, if you experienced something that you have questions over, please make sure that you send in a comment. Brad, we are almost at the top of the hour. How much time do you have?
I'm good on time.
Okay, cool. So what I wanted to see was maybe if we could take a live caller and you can work with them.
Be happy to.
Okay, cool. Because I noticed there was a person that had, I think, signed on and then raised their hand before the call started, like 30 minutes before the call even started. So I want to make sure we address whatever issues they have. Maybe, I think the first name is Matt from Georgia, 770 area code. Oh, my God. Hello? Georgia?
Hello.
Yeah,
hello.
Hi.
This is Nicole, actually. My husband is Matt.
Okay. Nicole. Hi, Nicole. You have a question for Brad?
I do. Let me just say first, I really enjoy your work, Brad. What I'm struggling with is being able to focus on one thing. I do have a lot of commitment to, certain things in my life, but when it comes to career or, a direction to go as far as money making, I know I have a lot of resistance for some reason because I always get distracted by something else. Something seems to be a great idea, and then, a couple days later, I move on to something else, and it's very frustrating.
Yeah. Something inside you is saying, "Ooh, boy, if we focus on that, we're going to achieve it." And then we have to deal with all kinds of consequences.
I guess.
Like expectations. People, boy, if I succeed at this, people will, Matt will expect me to exceed at everything or something. I mean, it's, and we laugh at it, but there is, at some level, part of the mind is going, yeah, there would be, if I focus on this, because there's a part of you that knows how powerful you are and that you could absolutely achieve anything you put your mind to. We've heard that expression over and over, you can do anything you put your mind to. So what we learn is, well, then I better not put my mind to it.
Because part of me knows that, so, yeah.
Yeah. So what, okay, so Nicole, close your eyes, take a deep breath.
Okay.
And just think about, something that you would like to focus on and get done. And see yourself actually doing it, actually focusing on it. And ask yourself, or, allow yourself to be aware of any discomfort that might be going on. And for everyone else listening, please do the same. Please follow along and for yourself, think about, do everything that I'm asking Nicole to do right now. So just notice any discomfort that comes up in your body, any resistance, and ask yourself, what would be the negative consequence of staying focused on this? And really, really take a moment to pay attention to what goes inside, because the mind, part of the mind is going to jump in and say, nothing at all. It would be great. I'd achieve this. We do this with money. What would be the negative consequence of making more money? And our first response is nothing. It would be fantastic. If we were totally congruent with that idea, we would be making more money. So take a moment to look and find those places where someone inside definitely has an issue with focusing more. Definitely resists that. And does part of, if you're not focusing or if you're not doing what you say you want to do, while part of you says there would be no negative consequence, some part of you definitely has an idea of what a negative consequence would be. either there's a clear idea coming up, oh, it would be this, or you may just have a feeling, gee, I don't know what it is, but I just noticed that I get, a stiffness in my neck or a knot in my stomach. So Nicole, what comes up for you in terms of what would be the negative consequence?
Well, I definitely have a lot of neck and shoulder stiffness, and I also think that I have an issue with being seen, if that makes sense. Writing is something that I would like to do, and
what would happen if you were seen?
I don't know. It's so scary to me. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Nicole, this is huge. This stops more people. Tons of people walking around with great ideas, but if they put it out there, they would be seen by more people, and that can lead to criticism. We look at the people we see in the paper. How often do we, pick up People magazine and go, look at that idiot, and we think, thank goodness that's not me on the cover of People magazine, with everyone calling me an idiot.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess that leads to also being overly concerned with what other people think.
Yep. What they think of you is none of your business, except that we make it our business. And here's the other thing is, okay, so close your eyes, take a deep breath. And again, everybody doing this. If people saw you, what are you afraid they will think of you? What are you afraid people will say about you?
Are you there?
Nicole?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. So what are you afraid that people will say about you if you were seen?
I can't think of anything in particular, but I guess it is, just criticism. And part of me knows it's frustrating because part of me knows it's ridiculous and it doesn't matter. And, everyone has different opinions about everything, and that's just life.
Right. You can't please everybody. And some people, you can take your favorite song, whatever song is your favorite song to hear on the radio or on your iPod. Somebody out there thinks it's a piece of crap.
Right.
And of course they're wrong, but that doesn't stop them from voicing their opinion. And so the extent. But here's the difference. If somebody out there, let's just throw this out there. Okay, and by the way, everyone go ahead and be tapping collarbone while we're talking. So we'll continue clearing this stuff because stuff is coming up as we talk about this. So be clearing that. So just for example, Nicole, what would you say is your favorite song or a favorite song of yours?
Oh, I don't know. I have so many.
Yeah, just any. It doesn't have to be you're not going to be graded on this going, no, you're wrong. That was not the favorite song.
Anything by Rod Stewart I like.
Okay. So, so let's say, Maggie, say someone doesn't like that song and says, that's a terrible, that's just terrible. What would you think? Would you start to go, oh, yeah, maybe it is a terrible song?
No,
because you know that it's great. However, we often are not quite so sure. While part of us underneath knows that we're awesome, part of us is not sure. So, and when we're fearing being seen by people, and we're thinking, oh, they're going to say these terrible things about me, we're not even out there yet. These people, we don't even know who these people are, but we're already imagining it. So who's saying these terrible things about us? We are. It's our own self. It's our own doubts about ourselves. So, so close your eyes, take a deep breath, and everyone do this, and say, I'm awesome.
Awesome.
Scale of 0 to 10. How true does that feel?
Probably a 6.
Okay. So that part of that other 4 is the part that's saying, yeah, we're not sure we're awesome, and we can be darn sure that people out there aren't going to think we're awesome. So it's best not to go out and find that out. It's better to deal with my own self-criticism than to hear it from other people. Side of the hand. Everybody tapping, if, assuming that you're taking responsibility for your own well-being. Even though I doubt that I'm awesome.
Even though I doubt that I'm awesome.
I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I doubt that I'm awesome.
Even though I doubt that I'm awesome.
I choose to love and honor myself anyway.
I choose to love and honor myself anyway.
Even though I doubt that I'm awesome.
Even though I doubt that I'm awesome.
And I criticize myself.
And I criticize myself.
And that can be painful.
And that can be painful.
And part of me says.
And part of me says.
At least it's just me criticizing myself.
At least it's just me criticizing myself.
If I really put myself out there.
If I really put myself out there.
If I allowed myself to be seen.
If I allowed myself to be seen.
Then other people would criticize me.
Then other people would criticize me.
Better to play it safe.
Better to play it safe.
And get distracted.
And get distracted.
And even though I doubt that I'm awesome.
And even though I doubt that I'm awesome.
I choose to deeply and completely.
I choose to deeply and completely.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
And anyone else.
And anyone else.
Who taught me to doubt that I'm awesome.
Who taught me to doubt that I'm awesome.
They just didn't know any better.
They just didn't know any better.
Eyebrow point. All these doubts about being awesome.
All these doubts about being awesome.
Side of the eye. All this self-doubt.
All this self-doubt.
Out of the eye. And all these fears about being seen.
And all these fears about being seen.
Out of the nose. There are things I would like to do.
There are things I would like to do.
On the mouth. And if I could focus on them.
And if I could focus on them.
Collarbone. I might really make a difference.
I might really make a difference.
Out of the arm. I might really put myself out there.
I might really put myself out there.
Top of the head. And people would hear what I have to say.
People would hear what I had to say.
Eyebrow point. I better not let that happen.
I better not let that happen.
Side of the eye. Because some people might not like what I have to say.
Some people might not like what I have to say.
On the eye. Some people don't like what Rod Stewart has to sing.
Some people don't like what Rod Stewart has to sing.
Out of the nose. I'm glad that didn't stop Rod.
I'm glad that didn't stop Rod.
Out of the mouth. Someone's out there.
Someone's out there.
Collarbone. Hoping that I won't let it stop me.
Hoping that I won't let it stop me.
Out of the arm. There are so many people out there.
There are so many people out there.
Top of the head. Doing what they do.
Doing what they do.
Eyebrow point. And it makes a difference in my life.
And it makes a difference in my life.
Side of the eye. And I'm glad they do it.
They do it.
Out of the eye. Someone's waiting for me to do what I can do.
Someone's waiting for me to do what I can do.
Out of the nose. And I can do it like no one else.
And I can do it like no one else.
Out of the mouth. Rod could have said.
Rod could have said.
Oh, there's plenty of other people out there singing.
Oh, there's plenty of other people out there singing.
Out of the arm. The world won't miss me.
The world won't miss me.
Top of the head. I'm going to play it safe.
I'm just going to play it safe.
Eyebrow point. I'm so glad he didn't.
I'm so glad he didn't.
Side of the eye. I'm glad he didn't stop himself.
I'm glad he didn't stop himself.
Out of the eye. I'm so glad he's out there singing.
I'm so glad he's out there singing.
Out of the nose. I choose to do what I can do.
Choose to do what I can do.
Out of the mouth. I can write like no one else.
I can write like no one else.
Collarbone. And there are plenty of writers out there.
There are plenty of writers out there.
Out of the arm. But people will read things that I write.
People will read things that I write.
Top of the head. And get information that they couldn't get from anyone else.
And get information that they couldn't get from anyone else.
Eyebrow point. The way that I write.
The way that I write.
Side of the eye. Will touch people in a different way.
Touch people in a different way.
Out of the eye. There's a reason why I'm here.
There's a reason why I'm here.
Out of the nose. I'm not here to just sit and watch everybody else do what they do.
I'm not here to just sit and watch everybody else do what they do.
Out of the mouth. I am a magnificent child of the universe.
I'm a magnificent child of the universe.
Collarbone, I can look at all the awesome things in this world.
I can look at all the awesome things in this world.
Whether it's the vast oceans,
whether it's the vast oceans,
top of the head, or the tall mountains, eyebrow point, or a Rod Stewart song.
Rod Stewart song.
Side of the eye. I have that same awesomeness in me.
I have that same awesomeness in me.
Out of the eye, and I'm clearing the doubts.
And I'm clearing the doubts.
And I was clearing the fears.
Clearing the fears.
On and off, clearing them all the way back through my past.
Clearing them all the way back through my past.
Call them back through all the times in my life.
Back through all the times in my life.
On the arm where I got the message that I wasn't so awesome.
Where I got the message that I wasn't so awesome.
Top of it, where I got the idea.
Where I got the idea.
Eyebrow point, that it was better to play it safe.
That it was better to play it safe.
Side eye, play small.
Play small.
On the eye, don't let anyone see you.
Don't let anyone see you.
On the nose, I'm clearing these fears.
I'm clearing these fears.
On the mouth, that caused me to get distracted.
That caused me to get distracted.
Collarbone, so that I can't be seen.
So that I can't be seen.
Under the arm, I can handle being seen.
I can handle being seen.
Top of the head, I deserve to be seen.
I deserve to be seen.
Eyebrow point, because I'm awesome.
I'm awesome.
Side of the eye, and people out there.
People out there.
Side of the eye, are going to appreciate my awesomeness.
Are going to appreciate my awesomeness.
On the nose, and if they don't.
And if they don't.
On the mouth, not my problem.
My problem.
Collarbone, it's not Rod Stewart's problem that some people don't like his songs.
Not Rod Stewart's problem that some people don't like his songs.
Under the arm. It may not even be a problem at all.
It may be a problem at all.
Top of the head. Different people have different tastes.
Different people have different tastes.
Eyebrow point. That's a good thing.
And that's a good thing.
Side eye. It's okay if not everyone likes me.
It's okay if not everyone likes me.
Under the eye. It's okay if not everyone sees my awesomeness.
It's okay if not everyone sees my awesomeness.
On the nose. I choose to see it.
I choose to see it.
On the mouth. And the more I see it.
And the more I see it.
Column, the more others will see it too.
The more others will see it too.
Under the arm. Hard for them to see what I don't see.
Hard for them to see what I don't see.
Top of it. So I'm clearing these doubts.
I'm clearing these doubts.
Eyebrow point. Allowing myself to know.
Allowing myself to know.
Side of the eye. It's safe for me to do what I do.
It's safe for me to do what I do.
On the eye. It's safe for me to focus.
It's safe for me to focus.
On the nose. I can handle the consequences of focusing.
I can handle the consequences of focusing.
On the mouth. I can handle the consequences of getting things done.
I can handle the consequences of getting things done.
Collarbone. I can handle the consequences of being successful.
And handle the consequences of being successful.
On the arm. Because most of those will be positive consequences.
Because most of those will be positive consequences.
Top of the head. And I can handle those.
And I can handle
in body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. And again, everyone go ahead and do this. And say again, I'm awesome.
I am awesome.
What does that feel like now?
Much better. Big relief. I'm kind of lightheaded.
Good. So when you find yourself getting distracted, just, as much as possible, allow yourself to go, okay, there's something I'm avoiding, there's something I'm afraid of, and start tapping to that fear. Now, this is why I recommend doing tapping on a daily basis, because that part of us that wants to play it safe isn't going to be, real open to a message of, oh, I'm just having resistance, I should tap that away. It's going to try to distract us from anything that will clear the distractions.
Right.
So that's why I recommend, having some kind of routine of doing some tapping each day to clear resistance. Just like we, bathe and brush our teeth on a daily basis. We don't wait until it occurs to us, oh, it's been a week. It'd probably be a good time to floss my teeth.
Right. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for doing what it takes to get yourself out there and add what you can to this world.
Thank you.
Take courage. Thank you. Take care. Let me know how you feel later on, please.
Thanks.
Awesome. And if anybody else wants to send in their comment, I'll be looking at the comment box soon. Brad, I actually was still feeling so sleepy, and the yawning was still going on. I actually had to go get a glass of juice so I could get some boost of sugar. I'm honestly drinking a glass of juice right now because I was like, oh my God, the yawning wasn't stopping. So my question is it normal for the energy to continue to release even after the tapping has stopped?
Very often. A lot of folks don't even, they'll say, yeah, I feel a little more relaxed right now. And I've had a number of clients who say, they really feel it like the next day, maybe a few hours later. But sometimes it's not until a few hours later or the next day that they go, because they're still part of the mind body is processing.
It's processed.
So so as we bring certain things up, there may be a lot of things that so as we're doing the tapping, when you get to the end of the tapping round and you check back in, and sometimes we may not feel the release, sometimes we may even feel more tense because, as I said, it's like moving the couch and finding the dirty laundry. It's like suddenly it looks worse. But now we're aware of it. Now it's like, oh, now I've got this pile of dirty laundry there. It's not, oh, I meant to clean my room and now it's dirtier. It's like, no, now I'm aware of what was there. So we could get to, maybe I've just in this tapping round, and you may be aware of, I'm feeling less awesome now, but now I know why, because I remember in the second grade my teacher saying that you'll never amount to anything.
Actually, I did remember I did remember something. That's really cool you said that.
Okay. So then you can focus the tapping on that. Even though this teacher said I would never amount to anything, tap, tap, tap. And as we get through it, we go, okay, this teacher was not a Nobel Prize winner. This teacher was probably having a really bad day, and I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and this was not a real assessment of who I was or what I was capable of. And as we clear that, we recognize, all right, I've gone through 20, 30, 40, whatever years of my life thinking I would never amount to anything because of some stupid comment that this teacher made while she was in a bad mood. Wow.
That is amazing.
We clear that out, and suddenly it's like, wow, that wasn't true about me at all. I really can achieve something great. I do have greatness inside of me. So with this thing that came up that you were aware of, does that feel clear now, or are you present to what that block was?
No, I'm just present to what that block was. I need to work more on that later.
Okay.
Because I just want to go to sleep again. As soon as I think about it, let's take a nap. Side
of the hand. We're not letting this go. Come on. This is going to benefit a lot of other folks, too.
Actually, yes, because I got a lot of comments from people that have the same issue of feeling like taking a nap whenever they need to do something.
Yeah. So everyone, even though there's a thing in tapping called borrowing benefits, so that even if the words don't fit, like if I say, even though I just want to go to sleep, you may be thinking, no, I'm totally energized right now. I don't want to go to sleep. It's okay, because you can still tap along, and stuff that might be going on inside will get cleared. It may be very subtle. You may not be totally aware of it, but whenever we're doing the tapping, we're clearing stuff out, even if the wording doesn't seem to fit. So you borrow benefits from the tapping round. So, side of the hand. Well, actually, let's do this. So on a scale of 0 to 10, how sleepy do you feel right now?
8.
Okay. Okay, side of the hand. Even though I just want to go to sleep.
Even though I just want to go to sleep.
I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I just want to go to sleep.
Even though I just want to go to sleep.
I choose to love and honor myself anyway.
I choose to love and honor myself anyway.
Even though I just want to go to sleep.
Even though I just want to go to sleep.
Put my head down and take a nap.
Put my head down and take a nap.
And effectively run away from all the stuff that's coming up.
And effectively run away from all the stuff that's coming up.
Including all the rewards that might come from the success.
Including all the rewards that might come from the success.
Even though I just want to sleep and avoid it all.
Even though I just want to sleep and avoid it all.
I choose to deeply and completely.
I choose to deeply and completely.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
And anyone else.
And anyone else.
Who is contributing to this fatigue.
Who is contributing to this fatigue.
Eyebrow point. I just want to go to sleep.
I just want to go to sleep.
Side of the eye. I am having to confront some stuff.
I'm having to confront some stuff.
Under the eye. That isn't very comfortable.
That isn't very comfortable.
On the nose. I just want to go back to bed.
I just want to go back to bed.
On the mouth. I'm not ready to face this stuff.
I'm not ready to face this stuff.
Collarbone. It's too much for me.
It's too much for me.
Under the arm. And if I did face it?
And if I did face it?
Top of the head. I'm afraid I might get hurt.
I'm afraid I might get hurt.
Eyebrow point. Even more than that?
Even more than that?
Side of the eye. Part of me is really afraid.
Part of me is really afraid.
On the eye. That if I confront this stuff?
That if I confront this stuff?
Onto the nose. I will overcome it.
I will overcome it.
Onto the mouth. And that will mean change in my life.
And that will mean change in my life.
Collarbone. I have beliefs about myself.
I have beliefs about myself.
Onto the arm. And excuses.
And excuses.
Top of the head. Things that I've held on to for a long time.
Things that I have held on to for a long time.
Eyebrow point. Things that have defined me.
Things that define me.
Side of the eye. This is who I am.
This is who I am.
Onto the eye. For better or for worse.
For better or for worse.
Onto the nose. This is who I am.
This is who I am.
On the mouth. This is what I'm capable of.
This is what I'm capable of.
Collarbone. And if I confront the stuff that's coming up?
And if I confront the stuff that's coming up?
On the arm. That might mean redefining myself.
That might mean redefining myself.
Top of the head. Holy cow!
Holy cow!
Eyebrow point. I'm a lot more powerful than I thought.
I'm a lot more powerful than I thought.
Side of the eye. I'm a lot more amazing than I thought.
I'm a lot more amazing than I thought.
On the eye. I'm capable of things I couldn't even imagine.
I'm capable of things I couldn't even imagine.
On the nose. And that scares the bejeebers out of me.
That scares the bejeebers out of me.
On the mouth. I just want to go back to bed.
I just want to go back to bed.
Collarbone. Don't make me deal with this.
Don't make me deal with this.
On the arm. Don't make me be powerful.
Don't make me be powerful.
Top of the head. Challenging things happen to powerful people.
Challenging things happen to powerful people.
Eyebrow point. It's not safe to be powerful.
It's not safe to be powerful.
Side of the eye. And people have expectations of me.
And people have expectations of me.
Onto the eye. If I were to stay awake?
If I were to stay awake?
Onto the nose. Clear this stuff?
And clear this stuff?
On the mouth. And find my real potential?
And find my real potential?
Collarbone. People will say, wow.
People will say, wow.
Onto the arm. You really are amazing.
You really are amazing.
Top of the head. And they're going to have much higher expectations of me.
And then they'll have much higher expectations of me.
Eyebrow point. I don't want to deal with that.
I don't want to deal with that.
Sorry, I am going back to bed.
I'm going back to bed.
Honey, I am going to sleep through this.
I'm going to sleep through this.
On nose, wake me up when it's safe.
Wake me up when it's all safe.
On mouth, wake me up when the threat has passed.
Wake me up when the threat is past.
Collarbone, wake me up when I've forgotten to be awesome.
Wake me up when I've forgotten to be awesome.
Under the arm. As long as I have these awesome thoughts.
As long as I have these awesome thoughts.
Top of it. The only safe place is under my covers.
The only safe place is under my covers.
Eyebrow point. I have such great ideas.
I have such great ideas.
Sorry, I better go take a nap until they fade away.
I better go take a nap until they fade away.
All this fear of being powerful.
All this fear of being powerful.
There's all this fear of being awesome.
All this fear of being awesome.
On and up. I'm not afraid of that.
I am not afraid of that.
Called I'm just tired.
I am just tired.
On the arm, I've had a long day.
I've had a long day.
Top of it, I just don't have any energy.
I just don't have any energy.
Eyebrow point, there's none of this emotional mumbo-jumbo going on.
There's none of this emotional mumbo-jumbo going on.
Side of the eye, this is genuine physical fatigue.
This is genuine physical fatigue.
On the eye, it's a natural response to my body's needs.
It's a natural response to my body's needs.
On the nose, I'm not running away from anything.
I'm not running away from anything.
On the mouth, I'm just tired.
I'm just tired.
Collarbone, and I'm not falling for that anymore.
And I'm not falling for that anymore.
Onto the arm, here I am.
Here I am.
Top of the head, on a phone call that I created.
On a phone call that I created.
Eyebrow point, talking to people around the world.
Talking to people around the world.
Side of the eye, living my purpose.
Living my purpose.
Onto the eye, opening people up.
Opening people up.
Onto the nose, to all kinds of great resources.
To all kinds of great resources.
On the mouth, so that they can live their best life possible.
So that they can live their best lives possible.
Collarbone, how can I not be energized by that?
How can I not be energized by that?
Onto the arm, how could I tell myself?
How could I tell myself?
Top of the head, oh yeah, this is a good time to take a nap.
This is a good time to take a nap.
Eyebrow point, right in the middle of my magnificent creation.
Right in the middle of my magnificent creation.
Side of the eye, this is a good time to take a nap.
This is a good time to take a nap.
On the eye, but I'm not resisting anything.
But I'm not resisting it.
Onto the nose, I'm clearing the fears and doubts.
I am clearing all the fears and doubts.
Onto the mouth, I have plenty of energy.
I have plenty of energy.
Collarbone, I am nothing but energy.
I am nothing but energy.
On the arm, whirling, swirling energy.
I am whirling, swirling energy.
Top of it, and there are times to sleep.
And there are times to sleep.
Eyebrow point, this moment isn't it.
This moment isn't it.
Side of the eye, I'm clearing the stuff that tells me to take a nap.
I'm clearing all that stuff that's taking me to take a nap.
Onto the eye, I'm allowing myself to feel awesome.
I'm allowing myself to feel awesome.
On us, it is safe to do so.
It is safe to do so.
On us, I can handle the consequences.
I can handle the consequences.
Collarbone, clearing any doubts about that.
Clearing any doubts about that.
I am clearing them all the way back through my past.
Clearing them all the way back through my past.
Top of the head, and as I clear these doubts away.
And as I clear these doubts away.
Eyebrow point, more energy bubbles up.
More energy bubbles up.
Side of the eye, man, that feels good.
Man, that feels great.
Onto the eye, that's who I am.
That's who I am.
Onto the nose, there's time to go to sleep when it's time.
There's time to go to sleep when it's time.
On the mouth, that now is not that moment.
Now is not that moment.
Collarbone, I choose to feel really alive right now.
I choose to feel really alive right now.
On the arm, I choose to really enjoy this experience.
I choose to really enjoy this experience.
Top of the head, and I deserve that.
And I deserve that.
Eyebrow point, clearing the doubts and fears.
Clearing the doubts and fears.
Side of the eye, clearing all this feeling that I should go to sleep.
Clearing all this feeling that I should go to sleep.
Onto the eye. When I'm awake.
When I'm awake.
I choose to be really awake.
I choose to be really awake.
On the mouth, I choose to be present to what's in front of me.
I choose to be present to what's in front of me.
Collarbone, so that I can really handle it in the best way possible.
So that I can really handle it in the best way possible.
On the arm, including having fun with it.
Including having fun with it.
Top of the head, in body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath.
Wow.
You awake yet?
Amazing. Yes, I am wide awake, and if I don't go to sleep tonight, it's your fault. But this is amazing. I mean, I am really, truly halfway through. I woke up, and it's been just, I mean, I have 100% clarity now and no sleep, none. I feel totally energized. This is so cool, Brad. I just love this.
Hey, you've created this amazing telesummit. It would be a shame if you slept through it.
Well, I agree. I do agree, and you know, that was exactly what was going on in my head too. But that's all I could think was, oh my God, how am I going to keep my eyes open?
Yeah,
but,
everybody keep tapping collarbone while we're talking. So go ahead.
Yeah, keep tapping, definitely, because I want to bring up a very important point here, because there were so many comments from when I mentioned earlier that I feel sleepy or I want to take a nap whenever I want to create change. You know, you guys that followed us along, if you can, you know, send me your comments also. But the thing is, this is really very, very important, because you did the first tapping, then you saw what happened to me. And I've always maintained this 100% authenticity with the listeners, that I'll share my experiences very authentically. And that's what was going on with me. So I shared it with Brad, not knowing that he was going to take me through another round of tapping. But this is basically what I wanted to talk to you about was, Brad, that even though now I know, okay, you recognized the symptoms right away, that, okay, she's experiencing, the block came up, and so now she's shutting down again. I did not know that. I was oblivious to that. I was thinking, okay, the energy is just going to process. So that's basically what I want to kind of segue into your special offer now, because why is it important to have something like you were talking about, to have a regimen, to have a routine? Because when you're trying to create change, your subconscious mind is going to trick you in all kinds of ways, where you will become you will become oblivious, like I became oblivious. I just had no clue that this was going on and I needed to clear it. I didn't even think about it, that I should be tapping and clearing. I didn't. So when you have a routine, you follow it, and you don't need to think about what to do. You have the scripts in front of you. You kind of have Brad walk you through this process. And that really was what saved my behind when I was in the middle of all that stuff that I was dealing with, because I just set up this routine, and I would do all kinds of tapping rounds, and I would just tap, tap, tap. That is what you guys need. You need a routine. You need someone to give you a step-by-step process so you follow along without thinking. Don't let that self-sabotage take place. And that's the best way to do that, is to, you know, kind of have a regimented or kind of a routine that you follow. So let's talk about what you've got for them, Brad. I'll announce the URL, and then you can maybe tell us a little bit about it. It's going to be at fromheartache2joy.com/Brad, and then the number 5. So it's BRAD, and then the number 5. fromheartache2joy.com/Brad5. So if you can tell us what you've got for us, Brad, and how it's going to help people.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. Okay, so yeah, what I've done is put together a package of a lot of my audio programs, and so it's like having a personal trainer. You know, I've shown you how to tap, and you know how to do it now, and it's a question of, okay, will you do it? So it's like if you go to the gym and you just walk in and you don't really know, it's like, well, I know I should be at the gym, but I guess I'll walk over to this machine and maybe do a couple of sets on that, or maybe on this, as opposed to having a personal trainer who says, okay, come in, great, what do you want? Let's go on this and work on this machine, and then we're going to work on that machine, and we're going to cover these different things. Because you know that if that part of us that is resisting change is there, when we say, I'm going to do some push-ups, we might do 3 push-ups and go, oh, that's good enough. Whereas with a personal trainer, the trainer's going to say, come on, give me 10 more. And we have it in us to do 10 more. But there's a part of us that will resist that and try to stop it. So what I want to do is, with these different audio programs, it covers a whole bunch of different issues, different ways of approaching it with the tapping. So there's a lot of different programs. There are a lot of audio programs, including the e-tappings, which cover like 20 different issues, you know, common issues like resisting money, or feeling like you want to resisting change, procrastinating, fear of public speaking, these different kind of things. And again, even some of them in there, like fear of going to the dentist. You might say, well, I don't have a problem with that, but because of borrowing benefits, you can go through that, and it might create an opening that you wouldn't have even thought of, because there might be something else that you're afraid of, but your mind, again, that part of the mind that says, I don't want to change, isn't going to tell you what you should work on. But you can go tap on the fear of dentists and clear something out that you weren't even consciously aware of that was holding you back. So, and then there's also some PDFs, because some people like to read the scripts while they're tapping and just follow along with that. There is some guided imagery in there, particularly in the Program Yourself for Success. As I said, I started out as a hypnotherapist, and I love the combination of using tapping along with guided imagery to create a really powerful success mindset. And
so that's where that reprogramming takes place.
Yeah, reprogramming. Because here's the thing is, when you decide that you want to do something, whether it's making more money or losing weight or whatever, there are actions you're going to need to take. If you don't see yourself as the slimmer, healthier self, if you don't see yourself as the more successful person, then the actions you need to take are going to feel challenging. If I think of myself as a couch potato who needs to do push-ups, those push-ups are going to be painful, and I'm not going to do very many of them, and I'm not going to do them for very long because they don't feel like who I am. If I change the programming on the inside and I see myself as successful in terms of what I wish to accomplish, then those actions feel normal. If you see yourself as a successful person in whatever area, whether it's business or relationships, your health, your finances, when you start to see yourself as that successful person, then the successful behavior becomes second nature. As opposed to something you're forcing, it becomes something that, well, of course you do it. For an athlete, of course they exercise, of course they go out and run or whatever it is. They wouldn't think not to. It would be hard to be a couch potato for them. So you want to reprogram your mind to see yourself as that person, such that those behaviors and those actions come naturally. And so that's what these audios are designed to do, is to clear out the doubts about yourself, those parts of you, those messages inside that say you couldn't or shouldn't, that you can't handle it, that you need to go back to sleep or whatever it might be. Those fears, clear those out, and you find who you really are, and you achieve what you're really capable of, and just enjoy life at a much higher level.
Beautiful. Brad, I think this is a great question that came in. Julie is asking, how do I get my cortisol and other hormone levels where they should be using tapping? Now, isn't it true that with regular tapping you're actually working on the actual physiology of the body, like the chemicals and the hormones?
Yeah, there's a study that was done last year or two where they took a group of people and had them tap, and their cortisol levels dropped by an average of 24%.
Wow.
Now, the lab technicians, when they were processing the results, when they got the results the first time, they scrapped their results and started over. The guy who had done the study said, I need those results. I'm doing a presentation. And they said, well, we had to start over because we didn't trust the results. We thought we'd somehow messed up because nothing brings cortisol down that much. So it's just the tapping process on its own is an incredibly effective way to lower those cortisol levels and naturally bring our body into a healthier state anyway. So not just the cortisol, but all the different functions. That's why tapping is often very effective for pain reduction.
And I found that, for example, for myself and those victims of domestic abuse, one of the things that they get used to because of prolonged abuse was adrenaline. Their body becomes addicted to adrenaline.
Yep.
And with tapping, that was one of the very secret, powerful weapons they were using, was to reduce that addiction so that they wouldn't naturally crave to create drama in their lives. Because, that's another weird thing we do is if we're addicted to all kinds of drama, we will crave it and then we will create it. But once your chemical levels get balanced in a healthy state, you actually start creating a more balanced and harmonious outer reality as well. I mean, there are just so many ways that tapping helps. It's just unbelievable. And I think, Brad, there's a group right now that is helping people, even in Africa, deal with extreme trauma that victims there have suffered, and it's found to be very, very effective in that as well.
Yeah,
so,
there are people working with veterans from returning from battle or from past wars like the Vietnam War, clearing out PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
So it's being used. There's an expression in tapping: try it on everything. If there's something that's causing you discomfort, it can't hurt to try tapping on it.
Mm-hmm.
And to at least relieve the stress. I worked with a group of a breast cancer support group, and I said, look, I'm not going to make any claims about tapping clearing cancer, although there are people who said that they've witnessed this happening. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to make any medical claims, but what I do know is that with different physical ailments, different illnesses, there are a lot of emotions that come up. A lot of fear comes up. There might be anger. There might be sadness. There might be guilt. I feel so bad that my family's going to have to take care of me. All these things. And, our body has natural healing abilities, but if our body is so distracted dealing with all these different uncomfortable emotions, it's like if you have a crew of nurses. Well, they can't all be in there working on the physical ailment because a lot of them are having to deal with the anger, and a lot of them are having to deal with the guilt. And it's like if we can clear out the guilt and the anger so that those nurses can get back into the operating room, we're going to heal much quicker. So we want to clear those the emotions that are coming up around that.
Beautiful. And then some people are asking me if we could, if there's a way to get this particular tapping track, and you can actually purchase all the calls that's in the special offer. You can purchase all the calls that we are going to have for almost 6 months, from here to 6 months. You can do that, but what I'm going to do also is, because I do realize these 2 rounds of tapping were very, very powerful. They're around so many issues that you guys can use them for. So what we'll do is, for the first 25 buyers, we will just throw in a track. We'll make 2 tracks of these tapping rounds, and we will include those in the as extra bonuses, so you guys can use those. But the replays are going to be up for a while, so you guys can follow along and tap along and release as much as you can. But if you purchase this, then we will just make sure you get the tracks of the tappings as well.
Awesome.
Thank you. This is awesome. This is absolutely great. One more time, if there's people listening right now that the way I used to be, I would make up all kinds of excuses that, this works for all these other issues, but mine is unique because mine is around, let's say, mine is around this guy that I love, but he won't love me back, and that is not something that tapping can solve. Or maybe I need to go tap on his head. Brad teaches how to tap on the guy's head.
He may need to tap, but
something like that.
Well, if sometimes and everyone keep tapping here. When people seem to reject us, that could be the best thing that could ever happen to us. I can look at, I'm happily married. I can look at women that I dated in the past that lost interest or whatever, or weren't, or maybe someone that I asked out and she wasn't interested, or whatever. And so I can look now and go, boy, thank goodness. I'm glad I didn't end up, I'm with the person I'm meant to be with. So there's, when we feel stuck on someone who doesn't seem quite so stuck on us, it's probably not that person. There are probably qualities about that person that we're attracted to, which we can find, and then some. If you see, wow, that person's a really great person, but they're not interested in me, well, then there's probably someone out there who's at least equally great, plus they're interested. So it's looking at that. Now, if that person is, potentially interested, but there's something about you, gee, they said they really like me, except that I'm a smoker or something like that. It's like, well, maybe that's the universe saying, dangling the carrot in front of you. Here's some incentive for giving up this unhealthy habit.
Well,
and I'm not saying that because ideally the person will love us unconditionally, and they may love you. They just may say, hey, I love you, but I'm not going to live in a house with a smoker, and so whatever. So there's all kinds of things that could be going on there, but the main thing is feeling that sense of I can't live without this person. Mm-hmm. You can, and that's something to tap and recognize what's the heart of that. And giving yourself the freedom to look and see, is this person who I really want, and what's in the way there, or is there something about them that I'm attracted to, but it's not actually them? There's someone else out there who would have that same quality and be more right for me.
So again, get that clarity over what it is that you're really wanting.
Yeah, because very often we'll get very hooked on someone who's not interested. That's like going to sleep. That's part of it. It will be because as long as I'm stuck on this person who is not interested, I get to stay safely single because I may have all this past information about relationships are horrible. Maybe maybe my parents were divorced, or maybe I've been in a bad relationship in the past, and I have all these messages say relationships are unsafe. So as long as I'm hooked on this person over there, I won't put myself out on the market, and I stay safely single.
Wow.
So allowing yourself to look at that and go, how does it keep me safe to be hooked on someone who's not interested?
And how brilliant are we that we find out all kinds of cool ways to either go into fight or flight?
We are amazingly brilliant, and that's why I say tap on a daily basis. And that's why with having the recording rounds, you don't have to think about what to tap on. You just already have something there. And it doesn't even necessarily matter what you tap on sometimes. It's just that you are tapping and clearing that stuff, because without the tapping, that brilliant part of us will come up with excuses, and it will convince us that it is absolutely valid. Oh, no, this person really is the person you're meant to be with. It may take them 20 years to realize it, but no, you shouldn't be involved with anybody else. This really is the only person who could make you happy. And we'll believe it because it'll be so convincing. We have incredible salespeople in our minds selling us on our excuses.
And they know us so well. They know us They know exactly what to say to us.
Yeah. So if we just start tapping, we'll diffuse the fear. And we'll get that part of us on board with us. So that part of us that's been trying to keep us safe by distracting us will then become our ally and use those powers for good and say, oh, well, now that we don't have to distract ourselves, let's use this power to create some awesome success.
Beautiful. Just amazing. I love it. That was such a great, informative call. I got a lot of my questions answered, and I got a lot of things cleared. So I really hope that they helped, that they're going to help all the listeners as well, because all of these are really, at the end of the day, it's all some kind of a fear, and you can name it whatever you want to, but it's going to be some kind of a fear. So like Brad said, you can give the name that you need to give it, but just following these tappings is really, really going to be helpful. The ones we did in this track, and then of course his wonderful, very, very generous offer, which is available for an immediate download, so you can start working on it right away, is at FromHeartacheToJoy.com/Brad, and then the number 5, and it is at a huge discount. I am scrolling down to that. Okay, it's regular. It's almost 80% off regular price of $464. And it's only available for $97 for you guys. So take advantage of this. This is one of the most powerful tools. Like I said, all the experts agree on this one thing. EFT is the number one, most favorite tool that pretty much everybody uses. I don't know anyone in the telesummit industry, actually, that doesn't use EFT for their own personal issues. It's really, really an Cool. Brad, I want to thank you. We took a long time. We went over the usual time of our call. I really, really appreciate your time. Once again, it was a great call, really great service and great information.
Well, thank you so much I'm happy to spend the time. I am grateful for the opportunity to share this work, and I just believe in it so much and what it can do for folks, and not just the benefits that, for those of you listening and tapping along, not just the benefits you personally get, but the benefits that other people get because you're setting yourself free to do what you can do. So thank you for participating in that, and just thank you, Eram, so much for creating this platform for me and these other folks to share this stuff.
Hey, I just did it so I could take naps. I just had to say that. I'm sorry.
But thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be here all week.
Thank you, guys. It was wonderful. It was a great call today. Thank you so much for everybody's wonderful energy, and love you all. We'll be talking to you soon. Bye-bye. Bye, Brad.